Cullen live in 1 minute. Welcome to Lynn Cullen Live at pghcitypaper.com. Email your questions and comments to Lynn at pghcitypaper.com.
And back by popular demand after only about, 15 years?
No, I've been on a show with you.
Not
this,
and I've been here for a while.
The internet, and I still am not sure I understand.
You don't
how
understand how people.
They go on their computer and listen, right?
They can right now. They're watching and or listening on computer, but most people listen later on podcast.
Oh, so you download it, right?
Most people, I think, download. People watch on Sketcher. Have you heard
Stitcher.
of?
She got it wrong. She doesn't even know what her own show does. That's so you.
Well, do you understand how television
Sketcher
works?
is the shoe.
Oh, wait a minute.
I almost called her a nitwit.
Okay, but so wait a minute, Sally. So, can you explain how?
I've never even done a podcast.
Okay, can you explain how sitting in a studio, your voice and visage
I don't
goes out? So, I don't understand
how broadcasting works.
No, I don't.
I've tried to explain it to groups, whom we give tours, and I'm not. If I sit down and someone explains it, I understand it, but it's not something that I felt that's necessary for me to...
Sort of like you don't have to know how a car works?
To process and remember.
Yeah.
Right. No,
okay.
I don't know how pistons fire and all of that stuff.
I don't even know what a piston does. I don't know.
I know they're a team in Detroit that used to play dirty, because I keep that was when...
That makes sense that was the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah.
It could have been the Detroit Carburetors.
I interviewed the Detroit Red Wings. I was in their locker room when we won the Stanley Cup. They're very handsome. They all had clothes on.
Wait a minute.
But they're very handsome. There was one of them. Oh, who's the one? Zetterberg. Oh, my God, was he gorgeous. I know. They had such gorgeous... Well, we have gorgeous players,
Wait a minute.
too.
So why were you in the losers' locker room?
No, they weren't losers at the time. It was right before they had their practice, and they sent me into the locker rooms because the guys, Andrew and Guy, I don't know what they were doing. They were doing something else. So I went and it was their morning skate. The game was that night, I think. They were just their run-through. And I went in both locker views and interviewed. Chris Letang was lovely, and just quick. You just hold the microphone up. It was crazy. It's kind of like a rugby scrum. All the guys are around, but it was the first time I'd been in the Stanley Cup locker room after they won. I was there after they won their first Stanley Cup. That was in Minnesota, but it was weird. They invited all of the reporters in. The wives were all in there. Everybody was there. I can remember looking at Joey Mullen, and it was just like a whole family, but they invited everyone in, and it was insane. So that was after, but this was before they won the Cup.
Okay, so by the way,
I don't know. How do we get off on that?
I don't know. But this is for anybody who doesn't know, recognize the face, the voice, or whatever. This is Sally Wiggin, not Wiggins. Just like I'm not Collins.
It's Cullen.
Cullen. It's Wiggin.
But that's not...
We don't have S's.
But maybe I'm not... shouldn't say that.
You can say anything you want.
But that's not your name.
Whoa, what do you mean?
It's not her name.
Well,
your name is Miller.
My maiden name.
But you kept your married name.
Well, yes, I did. And if you were smart, you would have kept yours. You know what?
I never took it. I never took it.
You know
I
what
never
her
took it.
husband's last name was? Famous. He was famous.
You're one of the few people who knew my husband.
You could have been Sally famous. I mean, why would you not have that?
Who would take a name? Who would take that name? People would think it sounds like I'm in one of those movies that you have to pay money for on your TV. Well, actually, that could be, you know what I'm talking about.
It doesn't sound like a porn name.
I didn't even want to use that word.
Porn?
Yeah.
Why?
Just because we shouldn't use it on the radio.
This is not the radio. Watch this.
Wait a minute.
Watch this,
not
Sally.
the radio.
Watch this. Fuck.
Oh wait, now I can't. No, you can't do that stuff.
Have you ever?
I can't do that stuff. No, the station will get upset. We can't do that anymore.
Asshole.
No, I can't do that.
Shit.
No, I can't do that. You've got to stop. Really, they'll let me do this just because they knew it would be okay. I had to get approval to do this. You have to stop that.
Fuck.
I'm going to have to leave.
I was just reacting. You mean I can't swear?
No.
So you mean the tentacles of the terrified FCC?
Yeah, someone will call the station and say I'm on here with you saying that stuff.
Well, you didn't.
No, but they will say you were. Someone will call a station or write the station or email
busybody?
them. Yeah, because I got permission because this was supposed to be just nice and easy, and we would talk about Chronicle, my show.
What a joke.
You better talk about my show.
All right, we're going to talk about your show. Sally Wiggin, by the way, is...
I can't drink that because it's a commercial.
Will you?
This is the way. You know what? This is the story.
Will you relax?
I'm always worried about upsetting people, and you go out of your way to upset people. Would that not be how you would describe her? And actually, you know what? Actually, off the air, you're an entirely different person. Most people don't know that. You're really different when you're off the air.
I'm quiet.
Well, and you're also very compromising. You will get in a discussion and you'll see both sides of a.
Right. But I think
You're far more compromising off whatever medium.
Well, because I don't like strife.
But you.
I peddle in it.
Yes, you peddle. It's kind of like Rush Limbaugh.
No, see, I
knew that would get her.
I could never. See, these people who, can you imagine doing a show in which you fulminate about this, that, and the other thing, and you don't really believe it?
Do you think he's that way?
I don't. I think he ratchets it up a notch and stuff. Yeah, I do.
But I think I don't think that's just something.
Everybody who's doing their shows is doing.
Well, you ratchet it up.
Well, because you have to be an entertainer. There has to be more. Whatever. I don't know.
Well, you know what? I suppose we all ratchet it up in one form or another.
If you're on, you have. So Sally Wiggin, by the way, when I was brought to Pittsburgh, Sally was the first person I met. She had come.
I don't think I was very nice to you, was I?
You were a total jerk.
Was I really?
Yes.
No, I wasn't a jerk.
You were dismissive.
No, I thought they brought you in to take my place. I've only been there 9 months.
I know. She was immediately, all she saw when I said, hi.
Wasn't Barb Brunette the photographer?
Yes. I said, hi, my name's Lynn. And she looked at me like, you're not getting
that's an exaggeration. You know what? That's an exaggeration.
Like. I hate your guts,
No,
babe.
wait. What? No, wait. I'd become the weekend anchor by that time, right?
I have no idea.
When was the date? When was the date?
You were the cold blonde bitch.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't.
What?
I just was nervous.
Yeah. Well, then at some point,
I was just I was being really waspy.
Yeah, I know. So at some point, Sally, watching my stuff and watching it, decides, she's no threat to me. I guess I can be a friend. So then we became friends.
No, I remember being nervous because they brought you in, and I thought, oh my goodness, this is what it's all about at this level, because we had come from smaller markets, and it was, and you know what? It wasn't that I was. My mother used to call me a cold fish. Initially, I'm not effusive. I'm not. You've learned how to be that way in this business, but honestly, I was.
Well, here's what it was. So they were told.
I wasn't.
I was
picked
up. No, I was picked up at the airport, And what happened is Sally was
You had
out.
to go on my story.
Sally was out on a story with a photographer, Barb Brunette, who later became a good friend, and they were detoured. Go over to the airport and pick up this girl coming in from Madison.
I just remember we were parked somewhere, turning around, craning my neck to talk to you.
Her name's Lynn Cullen. And so they got me and stuck me in the back of their news car. And that was my memory of driving into Pittsburgh for the first time, looking at the back of your head. You know how most people get the view through the tunnel? I was looking at the back of Sally's head and wondering why she wouldn't talk to me. And you dropped me off at the train station.
Why did we drop you? What train
because
station?
The only purpose of bringing me in, I was flown in for the day. You picked me up. They brought me over here to the train station where I was filmed getting off a train for a promo of me supposedly arriving in Pittsburgh.
So they were already making that big a deal out of you. No wonder I was nervous. I can't really. They didn't do anything like that for me. Well, I actually almost went to another station in the lobby as they were getting ready to give me my check. They gave me my check to pay for my airfare. And it was Fred Young. And I said, I'm sorry. I was so honest. I said, I'm sorry I can't accept this. I'm not sure I'm going to take this job. And I mean, I was coming to accept the job. Good. But no, because as I had walked in the lobby, the general manager from an Atlanta station, they offered me the weekend anchor job right there on the phone. All they'd done is seen a tape.
Cool.
And so I remember they took me to lunch and filled me full of coffee, and I decided, and it was John Conamikes, and he was so persuasive and so charming, and I decided to stay here. They got you from Madison, right?
Uh-huh.
That's a smaller market.
It's 112th market.
You went from there to well, it was 11 when you
I
got
jumped
here.
100 markets.
Oh
right.
my heavens!
Yeah.
But they were going to promote that they had you.
Ha 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 ha! Oh, see, she's pissed now.
No,
this is
don't.
35
You can't
years
say
later.
that stuff. Stop it. Jessica, make her stop this. Is she allowed to use your name and refer to you?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if we were allowed to do
Jess's laugh is. See that laugh?
She has a laugh like Tinkerbell.
That's part of the show.
We have just I wish I had a laugh like that. You know, like
Yeah,
water.
your laugh, I have to admit. Sally's laugh.
Shut up.
Sally's laugh is pretty awful.
It is. It sounds
ahead,
like
do
a
it.
donkey.
It
Well,
does.
no,
You
they're
bray.
different kinds. It
No, you
sounds
do.
like a donkey
You
braying.
You
yeah.
bray.
No. Awful.
Right.
That's how Jennifer Lawrence laughs, though.
Oh, is it? Does she? Okay.
I think she's just awesome, and I so want her to marry that young man from England, Nicholas Hoult.
Oh, yes.
I actually keep up with that stuff. I'm ashamed of that.
Hello?
That I keep up with that stuff.
Hello? It's my
I think
show.
she has a. Don't you have an engaging? Oh, I'm an engagement ring. It is your show. I'm sorry. We're not going to have enough time to do all this.
Oh, and the big thing we have to do is, Sally, first of all, this is true. You are, it is amazing, because these stories we're telling
I'm old.
is 30.
But you're older than I am.
I am older than you.
Always 5 years older. Yeah, it's funny how that continues, that gap remains the same.
5?
You're 5 years older than I am.
Well, she's just a mere child. Okay. So the amazing thing is, Sally came to Pittsburgh in 1980. I came in January of 81.
Oh, so I had just become the weekend anchor. No wonder I was nervous.
Oh, okay. And
I do remember thinking you were going to take my job.
all right.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So we've been here almost 35 years. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Next
30,
year.
mine was 34. It'd be
Next year.
Mhm.
35 years. Now, it is exceedingly unusual for any woman, or man maybe,
Man, it would be unusual
to
for a
stay
man.
in one place as long as the two of us have. We're the last one standing, I think. Can you think? There's no one who's been on. Is there anyone been on air longer than you here now in the capacity that you know?
If and you know what? If you count, now see, Joe DiNardo was at Channel 2 before he came to TAE. But if you just count, so he's been on the air longer than I have. But if you count just TAE, I might have a year. I might have a year longer than he does. Maybe. Yeah. I'm not sure. He may have been 33. I'm not sure. But we're
some of the, you know what, you've not been able to tune in your television in this city for more than 3 decades without bumping into you.
Well, you don't bump into me as often now.
But
I'm working harder. No, I really love what I'm doing because it's like,
I think you've got the best job you ever had.
No, it is. It's circling back to
Chronicle.
I was supposed to be an academic. That's the direction in which I was going in Asian studies, and they wanted me to go on and get my doctorate in pre-modern Chinese history. I would have switched to modern Japanese history because I was more interested in that. But anyway, I didn't because I didn't want to be on television. I wanted to write for Sports Illustrated. I love sports. What I really realize now, when I'm honest with myself, is I loved athletes. I wanted to be an Olympic athlete. I wanted to marry an athlete. I actually married an ex-athlete. I only dated athletes.
Mr. Famous.
I know. But it was so funny. So it was actually not because I just loved sports, I admit, but I wasn't a groupie. I admired athletic prowess. I'm trying to convince myself that I wasn't a groupie.
I let it go.
I might have been early on. I might have been a quasi-hockey groupie when I was in Birmingham. They had a hockey team, the WHA. There was one man I had the biggest crush on, and I was regarded as a friend. I was like the friend. He dated like airline, flight attendants, and they called them stewardesses then, and I was just a friend, and I hated it. But anyway, that's how I got into this business, is because I wanted to cover sports, because I didn't think I wrote well enough to write for a Sports Illustrated or a newspaper. And then I got into it, and it was much easier to get into news because there were more jobs. So it was just processable. It was just the easiest route. Right. We take the easiest route. You take the easiest route sometimes too.
Yeah,
you do that. We do that. I mean, that's why we're still here. Partly, you had a chance to leave to go all sorts of places, far more than I did.
But
we both had chances to leave, and I'm not sure. Mine was guys. I stayed here because of a relationship. But also I stayed here because I was afraid. I was always afraid.
I stayed here because I was inert.
No, you stayed here. Yeah, I know why you stayed here.
Right, okay.
Yeah, we know why you stayed here.
Never mind. Okay. So Bill writes, thanks for having Sally on. I was having dinner at the Aspinwall Grill years ago, and Sally was there, and I remember thinking that the camera does not do justice to her beauty.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far.
No.
But thanks, Bill. No, it's because it's two-dimensional. It's two-dimensional.
Chris writes, I was so excited to see Sally with you this morning. I love the both of you. Maybe you could even parlay this into a weekly thing. No, she can't. She's impossible to get. No.
Especially if she talks like she did at the beginning.
Please relay to Sally how the Chronicle episode on ALS was so well done. I had a good friend who passed away from ALS about a year and a half ago, so it really hit home. That disease is just so awful, and I don't think enough people know enough about it. Thank you again, Sally, for shining the spotlight on such a debilitating disease.
Thank you very much, Lynn, and Bill also. That was... I had known someone whose mother passed away right after she got married. This was back in, I guess, 97. And I found out just 2 days before we aired the program that a friend of mine, you don't know this, Jim Fallon's wife.
Yes, Rose. I do know Rose.
Oh, you did know Rose.
I did.
You knew she had. No one told me. And her son never told me.
We have the same accountant.
And all of a sudden I get this email that she has it. So literally 3 days afterwards I went to see her.
Yeah.
And she's...
Rose is bad.
Yeah. It's and then Father O'Leary, who was part of our program, I went to see him. I took the DVD to him, and I went to see him a couple of days ago, and he is so inspirational. It made me... I didn't cry there, and I don't know if I cried, but one of the things that we wanted to make sure, I wanted to make sure, and he said the same thing to me, is that there is hope. There is always hope, and if you believe, if you have faith in whatever deity or universe you subscribe to or follow or have faith in, there's always room for a miracle. And so he was saying, and he's actually progressing, and he's having trouble breathing, and they're going to look at putting what's called a diaphragm pacer. that helps his diaphragm stimulate. And he still has hope that they'll find something that can stop the progression right now. I'm babbling on. It was an honor to do it. Honestly, this was Wendy's idea. This was Wendy Bell's idea to do this because she had been following Neil Alexander. And so then we just turned it into, and I ended up doing the science pieces, which was fascinating because we have some of the most amazing researchers and physicians in this town. And I say town, in this city. So that was a pleasure. And I met some of the patients of these people and put them in. And then I also met the man who who did the biography on Lou Gehrig, and I read it, and I recommend it to everybody. It's called, oh my gracious, I can't remember the name of the book. Darn it.
I know that feeling. It'll come to you. Don't try. It'll come. What's your next chronicle on?
The city of Pittsburgh.
Oh, that's a nice, easy subject. What do you mean,
I know
city
it's hard.
of Pittsburgh?
It's the new. It's the new Pittsburgh. It's the new Pittsburgh.
Oh,
and it's been, there are articles about why we are where we are today, why we end up on so many top 10 lists, but it's an examination of why, what needs to be done, why this was a resilient city when, say, for instance, Detroit has not been. And, it is a huge topic, and my head is spinning every morning and every night.
When is that going to be airing?
Sometime in June.
So you do 4 a year?
Well, I don't know. There's talk of doing them every 2 months, but right now we're averaging about every 2.5, every 3 months. So it's I have
so
never
much more interesting.
I know, but it's
But then the day-to-day, like being an anchor person, which to me, I am sorry, is the most boring.
No,
job
but you know what? No, see, I have to tell you, there was something. The one thing I miss about anchoring, and I mean, I'm anchoring these shows. I'm the host, and then I have a co-host. Mike Clark will be my co-host for this. Excuse me. See how I did this so I don't get germs on anything?
That was very nice. I really appreciate it.
I didn't do it in my hand. I've learned that. It looks awful because it looks like it looks
like you're smelling your armpits.
You have to see, Do you know? Never mind.
Go ahead. No, I love it. Let's go to armpits.
No, I was my freshman year, and my roommate.
Freshman year of college.
And this was at Emory, and my roommate was from Nolans, and she came from a really high-placed family in Nolans, and she had her boyfriend. I can see them now, and they came to the door of the room, and I had just taken off a shirt, and I didn't know whether I should wash it or not, and I was smelling the armpit. They stood there, and he was so good looking, and I didn't have a boyfriend, and I was so upset, and I thought, oh gosh, this is awful.
It's one step up from smelling someone's crotch or something.
God, it was terrible. Anyway, what were we talking about? Chronicle, but. No, it's so much. It's hard work. It's really hard work. But here's what I was talking to a friend of mine, who's an academic at Pitt, and he was in the Asian field, and he was talking about one reason people are attracted to academics is because you can procrastinate and you can do research and you can do more and more research and more and postpone actually having to write it.
I'm working on that book. I've been
exactly. Well, that's me, and this new job plays to my two greatest weaknesses: over research and procrastination.
It's great.
I mean, we end up the photographers want to kill me. We've shot way too much stuff, and we don't overshoot like Frontline does. When they did their concussion, by the way, that one their Frontline, I thought our Concussion and Kids was better than their 2-hour Frontline, which won the Peabody. But we've already won some awards now with our shows.
Great. That is just great.
But anyway, it's a lot of fun. But what I miss about anchoring, and this is odd, is I always thought it would get me. Never mind, I'm not even going to go there. It actually did the opposite. I always thought that I would be able to find great guys to date if I were an anchor, and it actually the opposite happened. I had two guys say, well, I would like to go out with her, but she's on television and I'm not into that. And I was told that that's what they said. And I was one of them, he would have been a perfect match for me. He was climbed mountains, he was really active, and he had money, and I really. That's
wait a
awful.
minute.
Is that terrible of
No,
me?
but listen.
But I supported my husband. I supported someone else. I just
Sally.
trying not to do that.
Sally.
I really should not be talking like this on the radio.
But this is so true. Here we were 35 years ago. Two good-looking.
Well, I was married.
Yeah, but not for long.
I was married for 3.5, 4 years here. You were divorced, or were you by that time?
Yeah, that's why I came here.
To get away from.
Well, because he was setting up shop as an attorney.
He was handsome.
He was very handsome.
I've seen pictures of him, Jess. Have you seen pictures of him? No. He was gorgeous.
Tall, dark, and handsome.
And Irish.
Black.
Oh, you didn't? Well, Cullen. It's an Irish name.
Black hair, blue eyes.
I always think it's odd that you kept his name.
Black lashes.
Don't you think it's odd that she kept his name?
And red lips.
Lots of people do that.
Do they? Okay.
No, I did because by then that was like my name. I was, wait. You never changed your name, so you don't know what this is like. I'm living my life. I'm Lynn Miller. Then one day, bang, Lynn Miller ceases to exist, and it's somebody named Lynn Cullen. I found that extremely discombobulating, really. It took me years to get used to being Lynn Cullen, and by the time the marriage broke up, Lynn Cullen was somebody. She was an anchor woman. She was a reporter. She was somebody. And it was my sense of self was Lynn Cullen. And so when I divorced, I thought, well, Lynn Miller isn't who I am anymore. It wasn't right.
Doesn't seem like it doesn't fit the profile that people think of her in this town, but it does say something.
It's just a name.
I always maintain it's still a connection.
Well, I adore the guy.
I know. But anyway, no, we digressed as
Which is
usual.
more than we could say for Mr. Famous.
You're not supposed to. That's right. You already did say the name. Let's not even go there.
Okay, no, let's not.
Yeah,
go
that
there.
was. But anyway, no. Talking about anchoring. In the insanity of a day, and this is true for everybody, no matter what your profession. In the insanity of a day, that was the 1/2 hour or hour where I felt I could relax. No, it was where I could breathe. And now doing this, there are many moments I feel like I can't breathe because there are so many people I need to think of, and then I hate to upset people. So you interview someone for a half an hour and you only use 5 seconds
I'm not
of them.
Use anything.
Well, no, right. I always shove them in there, and the editors will say, no, that doesn't fit. You can cut that. And I'm like, no. I took their time. I can't cut them. I can't cut them.
You can't think that way. You cannot think that way.
Are you getting emails?
Not anymore.
Oh, really? They stopped.
Yeah, see, she's going to have to go to a psychiatrist if you don't start sending something in.
I am. That's awful.
Here's what I wanted to say about you and I being attractive young women who were on television and blah, 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 blah. It is very detrimental to your personal life.
But it is.
In terms of romance, it is. Both you and I, do you ever think...
Well, people don't know this, but the reason I asked to come off the 11, people think it was just because of my heart. It wasn't. I was trying to save a 5-year relationship. Well, it ended up being 5 years, but it was midway through a 5-year relationship, and I was trying to save it, and I thought the only way I could was if I came off the 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
If it didn't save it anyway. And the guy and I are still really good friends, and I'm good friends with his children. But I thought that if I came off the 11, and of course they wouldn't let me do it at that point. They said we have to wait.
So... But
that was the real reason, if I admit it.
No, moving to Pittsburgh was absolutely the death knell of my romantic life. And I have heard this from a lot of women our age. We have been in a circle of...
But there are women here who are on the air and really well known, and they found their husbands here, and they're still happily married. Although I've also known a lot of women who've come here,
and their marriages have gone kaplooey
when they've been on the air. Yeah,
when you look at really, we know that is true. It's rough. I don't know. Poor us.
No. I've you know what? I've learned a lot. I've met some amazing men, and I've gotten to know their children, and become. I'm actually one of my ex-fiancés. I am going to his daughter's wedding, and I'm so excited. And she came to town, and we had breakfast, and I'm still good friends with them. And I actually bought a house.
We have a call.
Oh, a call. You get calls too?
Jesus.
Why are people not emailing? I'm upset.
I knew it. Hello, caller.
Yes, this is Clarence from Canonsburg.
Clarence.
I'm getting the biggest kick out of you guys talking about your lack of men.
Well, it doesn't.
Not-
you know what?
not what I was
At this
expecting
age,
this show
it
to be
doesn't.
about.
Well,
What's
no,
that?
it doesn't. It's interesting because that.
We don't care as
Honestly,
much
I have to
anymore.
tell you, Clarence, a lot of my interactions with her over the years, and sometimes there were fractures in our friendship, were about our relationships, were about men. I would call her all the time and drive her nuts, talking about all my problems. I did, and
Yes, she did.
and there were times when she became really frustrated with me for making bad choices. So it's interesting. A lot of our early, I'd say the first 10 or 15 years, it was about my goofy choices and some of yours. So honestly, the foundation of our friendship is more, I'm just realizing that, it's more about that than what our jobs were. Honestly, it is when you think about it.
All right.
That's because you guys were in, I think, because you were in similar situations.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you
it was.
gotta- you
Yeah, it
understand
was.
what's going on.
You know what? That's exactly what it was, Clarence. And now, actually, for me, it doesn't matter quite anymore. The whole online dating thing, I can't do it. I won't do it, and so it just and you know, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Clarence is eligible.
I've been eligible since you've known me.
I know. He's wonderful.
What I'm thinking, what made me think about it, because when you said women our age, it's changing. Younger women don't have that same problem. I don't think the guys are as intimidated.
No, they don't.
I think
no, they
that's
don't.
true.
Yeah.
They don't.
True.
But you know, they don't. And but it's. I don't know. You know what? It's always a problem. But it was said that the men of our generation were the waffle that was burned. You know, you burn your first waffle while it's heating up, because they had no idea how to handle what was happening with women.
Well,
and,
either did we.
And
were
we didn't know
all
how to
sort of
handle
like-
it either.
I mean,
And you know, and so, but so
whoever said it, they're like the waffle that is burned.
I made
I've
that up.
never heard that in my life.
No, my godmother said that about children. She said the first one is the waffle that you burn. So I just kind of apply it to everything in life. It's the
How
burned
waffle
waffle.
is that?
What?
How waffle is that?
I don't know why.
Waffle.
What?
He said, "How waffle is
that?
that you do that?"
How waffle?
It's a pun.
It's a pun.
What's a waffle? Oh, how awful!
Waffle.
Waffle.
How
How
waffle.
waffle! Oh, it's like Elmer Fudd. Wascoey Wabbit. It's a Wascoey Wabbit. I can't understand why we're not getting emails. I'm obsessing about this.
I tell you what you're going to end up getting is a bunch of emails from guys.
That's what you're gonna
No,
get.
no, I don't want that. We shouldn't have started
That's what you're
talking
gonna
about that.
Okay, we should not have. Absolutely not.
I've only got 10 more minutes. We
By
talked
the way,
about
real quick,
Yeah.
I always thought Lynn Cullen's a better name than Lynn Miller.
I do too. It's got
But
more.
Ida Miller is a better name than Lynn Cullen.
No, it's not. That is her
I like
name.
Ida Miller.
How'd you knew that? Okay.
Huh?
All right. I'll
knows
save Sally from the
everything.
side. Read that email. All right,
Okay,
Clarence, we're going to read
Gigi's-
an email.
All right,
Gigi's.
have a nice day.
Thanks, dear.
Bye, Clarence.
Bye.
Okay, I'll save Sally from the psychiatrist by sending an email. Love to hear you two together. Your conversations remind me of conversations with my sister. Wait a minute. She just said one of my ex-fiancés. Good God.
Well, if you count the one I married, one,
No, you can't.
2, 3. Yeah, you can. Yeah, because he was a fiance at one time for a year. There were 3. I had 3 fiancés. Not at the same time. I had 3. That is a lot, isn't it? It shows what a failure I am.
What a joke. You are not a failure at all. What a fun existence you've had.
No, it is. It's been interesting.
And you look
my
damn
great, and you,
good,
and you,
too.
you know what? I do admire you because you adopted a child. That is my great hole in my life, is that I wanted children and I don't. But I have my surrogate children
You
from
have a
some of these
million of them.
from these relationships.
Wait, I got
you know.
tons of stuff for you here. I remember back in the 90s that Sally, that you that Lynn said Sally's real last name over the air. No. No, her name's Wiggin.
No, Wiggin's my name. It's my name.
No, that's her real name, Wiggin. I miss your holiday shows with Sally, Mrs. Rogers, and that woman who works at the university. Hey, Kit. That's Kit, our friend Kit. Great conversation to listen on Labor Day and other holidays. Sally still drive a milk truck and have a big dog.
A milk truck? Oh, because I had a big car. Oh, that's right.
You had a big white SUV.
I was driving that when I was with the one. God, I always think of things in terms. That's how I know what time. Yeah, no, that was a giant breed.
Sally interviewed our group, the Steelerettes.
Oh, you guys are awesome.
Twice. The first time was when Heinz Field opened. She was so nice. And it marked the first time the Steelerettes reunited after over 30 years. It was also right before 9/11 and the broadcast, which was to air right before the Monday Night Football game, was postponed. The next time was when we had our 50th reunion. Sally interviewed us at Heinz History. I think you two are great together. Noreen, thank you.
Oh, thank you. I remember Noreen. Yeah, that was wonderful.
Sally, you are the Diane Sawyer of Pittsburgh.
No, I'm not, but thank you. She's an amazing woman, and she's still working.
Sally Lynn, don't you love doing documentaries, Sally? That's mainly what I did in television. It's telling a more complete story. The news loved it. Wish I were still doing it. That's
Hey, Susie. Of course you're. Yeah, you know what? It is, and that's. I'm really excited that the company has been so kind to me and given me this gift. It really is a gift.
Just wondering, Lynn, if offered to you, would you go back to TV? Maybe another misspelling segment. I think you and Sally should do a show together. Love hearing all these old stories. Keep them coming. One more question, Sally. Any chance in the future that she'll do an update on the ALS Chronicle? I would really like to see how Neil Alexander's holding up along with the other people they featured. Also tell Sally, love when she does the news on DVE.
Now, that doesn't argue with you. That show's before you come on, so... The DVE morning show.
You know, when you're on the internet, you don't give a damn about any of
that's
this.
true. That's true. But I mean, no, I thank you for the DVE. Those guys have been great to me. Really, I love them to death. They're very funny and very talented. Yeah. And what was I going to say? An update. I absolutely know. Wendy is chronicling, using it as a verb, is chronicling him. For months to come. So yes, you will see an update on Neil. I think probably Father O'Leary, we might do an update with Father O'Leary and Evelyn. Those are two other people Evelyn has had it for 24 years, which is remarkable.
Oh my God.
And I'm going to go, she lives in Armstrong County. I'm going to go out and visit her. I got Jerome Bettis to sign a football for her. She's a big Jerome fan and she's met him. And then, and I have the DVD, so I think I'm going to try to go out there the weekend after next and take her everything. So she's very funny. She loves Elvis. We walked into her house and there was a clock with Elvis's legs walking back and forth. Isn't that awesome? I saw Elvis dead. It was my first job. I was a radio reporter. I was in Birmingham, and they sent me, and I had to. There wasn't any press. I didn't know that there might be a press availability. I was so stupid. I knew nothing. I'd not studied it. I'd never interned.
What year is this?
I knew nothing about broadcasting, and it was. Well, when did he die? It would have been 78 or 70.
It was around
78, yeah, like 78. And I went and I stood in line for hours to see his body laying in state in the casket. And he didn't look good. No, it's because he looked heavy. He looked heavy and bloated.
He was bloated?
Yeah. People have told me I really didn't see him. They've said that I said I saw him. I said, no, you didn't. That was a fake body. I'm like, what?
That is baloney. That's baloney. That's so you.
Here's another email. I was really panicking. There weren't emails.
I
was just like, oh my gosh.
This is Laura who listens from Ann Arbor.
I love Ann Arbor.
Sally
hail
went
to the victors, valiant hail to the conquering heroes, hail to Michigan. Your brother teaches there. That's enough.
Go blue.
She sings worse than I do.
Go blue. I do. Anyway, Laura doesn't know you from Adam, but she's enjoying this too.
She doesn't know me. Well, what the heck is she listening to you for? She doesn't know. I don't understand this.
Sally, it's the internet. people go looking for like a liberal talk show or something.
Oh, is that what you are?
Also, I must say,
I'm a centrist. In other words, it means I have no opinions.
that's not true. She has plenty of opinions. Laura also happens to be the secretary to my brother.
Well, okay. So there's a connection. I thought this was somebody just.
No, but
ether.
Laura, you have to let me know.
Your brother has a secretary?
Did you end up listening to me because of my brother, or did you find me independent of my brother? That's what I'm not sure of. She might have found me independent of my brother.
No, I bet you. No, she didn't.
Well, then how come I have people listening and all over the place?
A person just walked by. That's amazing.
Oh my God!
It looks like
that wasn't as good as the Peregrine Falcon.
I know. Bob Mulvihill's a great ornithologist.
Yeah, no, it's a very busy thoroughfare here, Sal. You know what I've forgotten? I have commercials too.
Oh, we haven't done commercials.
We completely screwed up the commercial.
Oh my heaven! Can you do a commercial?
No, let's not, because I know you have to go. No.
You have to. No.
No. Well, when you find
Really big PSA.
Sally, shut up.
We need to do commercials because you can't survive without them.
You want to make a bet? So listen, because you can't stay till the end of the hour. Is that true?
I could stay maybe 5 more minutes, maybe 10.
Just talk.
Just talking to help.
Yeah.
No, but this is not good. You have to have commercials. We should.
No,
play a
see, you're
commercial.
coming out of a very much more different environment, in which there are more rules.
Yeah.
You know, there are no rules on the internet.
But see, I like rules.
I know you do.
She doesn't like rules.
It's
That's
why
I
you said
know.
that when you were an anchor, those were the only times you could breathe. When there was total structure.
Yeah. That's
you
why
could
Chronicle's
relax.
hard. There's not structure.
God. Okay, so we got to get some Wigginisms and women. We got to get to some.
So we don't
stuff.
have any. We don't have any more emails.
Well, you relax. So we want to be able to do the.
Are people just listening?
I believe they are.
Oh, but actually, they may listen to the podcast.
Like,
Most.
yes.
Do most people do the
Most
podcast
people,
thing?
Yes, by far.
So then I shouldn't feel. I shouldn't
Right.
feel horrible.
This is one little scintilla of our audience listening live.
Okay.
So,
All right.
Okay. It's a
I can
brave
breathe
new
now.
world out there.
I don't know how to
So,
download
Sally-
a podcast. How do you do that?
Huh?
How do you download a podcast? Do you just go to the website and click download and it puts it on your computer?
You can go to iTunes if you like.
Oh, you can go to iTunes too. I don't do much from iTunes. I downloaded Downton Abbey season 2.
You can also go to Pittsburgh City Paper website. It's all on there.
Okay. Pittsburgh City
all
Paper
of them,
website.
all of them,
Okay.
any old time you want.
All right.
So,
Well, now question me like a regular guest. Do you know, this was amazing. I had this epiphany that most of our relationship is based on the screwed up relationships
I don't
we
think
had.
that's true. We
But
were young women.
No,
We were in our
from
30s.
80 until you adopted Sam. And then there sort of was a change.
That's
so
true. That was a big change.
That was, what year was
when
that?
I went from being like you, a screwed up single person, and then became a mother, that sort of changed.
It did.
things. I mean, yeah, right.
Was that 92?
92.
Yeah, it was 92 and 92, 91. And that was when I screwed up the best relationship of my life. And you were really upset with me about that. But you were upset because you were getting ready to become a mother, and I think you were nervous.
Oh, yeah. It was frightening.
But that was a wonderful thing that you did.
It was the greatest thing in my life.
Yep.
But anyway, so Sally and I used to, we took some vacations together back in the day.
Yeah, and one of them you got really angry with me because of.
There were more than one that I
you-
got really angry.
Don't you?
I'm not going
don't you
to.
Don't you mention a name because people would know who that is.
I'm not saying anything about anybody.
No.
I just thought I was giving you an opening to do your biggest complaint about me.
Yes, you wouldn't let me use the bathroom.
That's correct.
I actually told that story to somebody the other day. She wouldn't let me use the bathroom. We were driving. this was not a very good vacation.
We were driving up the coast of California.
No, we were driving down, and it wasn't the coast of California.
Well, where the hell?
No, this was a different one. The coast of California that's the one where you got angry with me about that person. That person. Anyway,
we seem to be stalking around the country.
I was
right?
stalking
okay,
him.
mind.
I was stalking him. That's awful. All right, but no, that was that one. Then it was the next year. We went. Someone decided that we were going to start in Seattle. We drove to Vancouver to see a friend of mine. And we came back. Then we drove down. We didn't drive up. We drove down from Seattle to Portland. And we were driving on this 2-lane highway. And we were behind a big RV. And we passed
we were passing lumber trucks.
Well, there was an RV too. No, I'm sorry. There was an RV. And I saw the RV. And we passed the RV. And you wouldn't let. And I had to use the bathroom really badly. And you said, we've already passed these things. If we stop, then I won't be able. We'll get behind them again. And for 3 hours.
Oh my God!
3 hours.
Terrible.
It's awful. And so I was so angry. I couldn't even walk. Well, she was mad at me the day before because I wanted to choose the bed, and she said that there were these the twin beds, and she said that I was selfish. So you did.
What?
I remember that. You said
what?
that I would choose the one that I wanted next to the wall. And so that was the night before. So you were still angry, and that's why.
Here's why I was angry.
Wait.
You're sitting in the car, and she buys like a Trix cereal. Trix. Which is enough to make you.
I ate the whole box.
She's in there saying, "Ooh, I gotta go to the bathroom." And she's like, "There's tricks all over the damn car."
No.
And she's like, "Tricks everywhere."
No, that was another part of it.
Yeah.
No, maybe it was about the same time.
I'm risking my life getting around these logging trucks.
I don't remember logging trucks. You know what? People who do feature stories, which is what she excelled in, they exaggerate. They do. I've noticed that. Yes. They exaggerate. Anyway, and so when I got out, I immediately went and called Timmy. And I was just ragging on you. I was screaming about you. I can't do this. How can I come home? This is awful. Timmy was my significant other. I said, I can't believe we did this. This is so stupid. I could barely walk. I couldn't walk.
Sorry, Sally. I've always had a really good. I've had a really good bladder all my life, so I just don't have.
3 hours. 3 hours. I don't mean to yell. I'm sorry. But you know what? We got past it. We did.
Hey, Clarence. Margaret says she would date you if she wasn't gay.
That's a major problem because. What I mean, it's a major problem is that. I don't want to say anything that would be unkind, but...
Okay, Robert tweeted that we should be on every week, but it turns out, due to your subject matter and that Mrs. Wiggin needs clearance from Channel 4, that's a bad idea. So I took the tweet down.
Yeah, no, it was, yeah. No, I can't. I can be a guest for these things, but I can't.
How can you stand having people decide?
I'm okay with that. See, I like rules. You're not like that. I like rules. I do.
Okay.
Oh.
Hey, Sally, I was going through a lot of old video I have, and I came on one that you're in. And it's Sally. Get this. Her hair is pulled back in a ponytail. And this involves syrup. We were talking about waffles earlier. This involves syrup, a ponytail, and ballet slippers.
What? This is not ringing a bell. I gotta go in a minute.
The syrup.
I'm gonna get in trouble.
The syrup was put on the rump. Wow, I can't believe you're not getting this. Of a horse.
Why?
Because it was one of your stupid things things that you were always getting yourself into. Remember when you decided you were going to learn how to
vaulting. Well, why was there syrup?
You put Caro syrup all over this poor horse's ass.
No, I don't remember doing that.
Yeah, that's on film. And then, so you could, when you were putting your hand on it or sticking your knees on the rump, would help you
I don't
stick.
remember the syrup. That's called vaulting. I did vaulting for a little bit.
So she's up there, and she's like...
And you did a story about it.
She's doing swan dives on this. The horses.
No, it was actually really bad. I was not very good. I do remember this.
She's like, no, you were. It was lovely. I made you look very good.
My sister and her husband, when we showed your video to them, they just started laughing. And they just laughed. And my mother was still alive then, and she was really upset with them for laughing. I was too. I didn't speak to them for 2 days. They were really mean. I do remember that. I didn't remember wearing a ponytail.
You wear a ponytail.
I had a ponytail?
Yeah. And I can't believe you have to leave. Anyway, Laura writes back from Ann Arbor. I listen to you because I enjoy your show. It makes me laugh and smile, brightens my day. I found your show because, as my mother and husband say, I am nosy. You know, we call it nebby around here, right? Yeah. I like to think I am curious. I think you're curious, Laura. I was sorting through your brother's papers to organize them and could not figure out who this man was in a photo. And in fact, it was my brother, very young. And I saw your name in connection. So I was curious about you. Okay, and my brother warned her not to listen to my show because he said you'll be offended by it.
Well, you do offend a lot of people.
Well, Laura says she has yet to be offended.
No, she doesn't offend a lot of people. Well, it just depends. If you're listening to Lynn, you're not offended by her. You probably offend people who don't listen to you.
Why would I offend conservatives?
Well, just...
And people who don't want, who don't like people saying fuck.
Oh, God, I have to go now. I can't do that. You can't do that.
I know you do have to go. Sally has to go.
I'll be in trouble now.
Okay, no, you won't. Just tell them it was me. And
okay.
That's why,
I do have to go. I stayed much longer than I said I was going to.
They should be happy. I'm not giving them headaches anymore over at Channel 4.
Oh, no, I know. No, you're missed. Listen, because features
don't exist anymore.
Well, they say they don't, but they do. A lot of the, you know what? A lot of the most popular stories on news
are the softer stories.
I know. Sure they are.
Well, I hope you will do this again.
I will. Definitely.
I'll keep the heat on her. She's so damn busy, though.
I am. We've got an interview this afternoon for Chronicle.
Thank you.
No, thank you. It's been great. So now,
Chronicle.
Can you go to a commercial?
Yeah,
can you go to a commercial?
So we'll go to a quick
commercial.
So I can stand up
Sally,
and leave. Say goodbye.
Goodbye. What do I do? Wave at that? No,
there's the camera. See that little thing right there?
I'm an idiot. Bye.
She doesn't know a camera.
Bye. Anyway.
Right, there it is.
Email your questions and comments to Lynn at pghcitypaper.com or call Lynn at 412-316-3381. Lynn Cullen Live will return in a moment.
Download the brand new CP Haps app and find out what's going on in Pittsburgh. It's the fun and free app that puts the most popular events at your fingertips. Text events to 77948 to download now and register to win tickets to see Lady Gaga at the Consol Energy Center on May 7th. The CP Haps app brought to you by Pittsburgh City Paper.
Packers.
Vikings.
We come from different places.
Uptown.
Downtown.
We come to different conclusions.
Half empty.
Half full.
But when we live united, we make a real difference in the building blocks of life. Children succeed in school, families gain financial stability, the health of our neighbors improves, and suddenly so do our communities. Real change won't happen without you.
Live United.
So give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Sign up today at liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Have a question or an opinion? Call Lynn Cullen at 412-316-3381 or email lynn at pghcitypaper.com. Now, more with Lynn Cullen Live.
Oh, dang it. You know what? I had wanted to bring up this thing with Sally, but...
What thing?
Did you see the piece on Mike Tyson in today's paper? Unbelievable.
Andrew interviewed him.
And they should not have buried it as they did. It's buried on the bottom of the sports section. Talk about it. It's a feature story. It is so moving. It is about how...
Andrew interviewed him about how losing his daughter changed his life.
Yeah, but no, he was in town and this was no media available. He went and talked to a group of about 15, that's all, 15, 20 wounded warriors. And he just sat in a room with them and talked. And this is such a beautiful story.
Because I'm
So
a huge supporter of Wounded Warriors. Huge,
Okay.
huge.
And they learned from him, and he learned from them. He's a remarkable guy, this guy. He was very nervous heading over there because he didn't know what he could say to them. And then his being with them helped him, and because he has demons, and they have demons. Yeah, I am on the air.
Oh, okay. All right.
Check this out.
Oh, I will. No, Andrew interviewed him.
I know Andrew Stockey did.
Andrew Stockey did and found it really moving. I'm not on the microphone. I should probably get on
No,
the microphone.
but, well, sit down if you want. But let me just, no, really, listen to this. It's just,
I mean, Andrew found him quite moving, too. And
Yeah,
I did
he
not
is.
see Andrew's piece, but it aired last night.
well, it's just amazing. He said, Tyson, when he entered the gym, it was in a gym, everybody took seats around him, and he started slow, his voice even softer than usual. He did not want to get emotional. In his mind, he was there to provide these guys strength. You never know, Tyson said, when the human spirit can move, and you never know what it can move and endure in life. And this is the epitome of it right here. That's the reason I'm here, to be around you guys.
Oh.
And he goes on, and one of the Marines tells his story, and about how boxing has helped him deal with some of his PTSD. And here's what Tyson says. What does a guy do when he comes from that situation, the war, and he's thrown back into society? You're taught destructiveness. You're taught to be a juggernaut. Now, I've got to be in a calm society? How does that work? After my fights, if I got a first-round knockout, I'm still built up. I'm going to jail. I'm going to get arrested and stuff. I'm still not finished fighting. It's still in me. Now imagine this. Seeing your best friends right next to you. An explosion. His head is gone. He realized that he understood
What they're going
through, in that he had, all of this in him, this aggression and blah, 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 and then had to learn how to live around normal people where that aggression wasn't necessary. And Tyson said to these guys, he talked about growing up with a mother and father who were both addicts and involved in the sex industry. He said, I was basically an addict from the day I was born. My soul is still sick. I thought I was being kind to myself, buying $10,000 suits and sleeping with 20 girls a night. Yeah, I've got a plane, a boat, but that's me abusing myself. That is pleasure I don't need. I have to be kinder to myself, really love myself, not beat myself up. I am learning to heal. He's talking to these guys, and they're all on the same wavelength.
I can't imagine
It is-
how much that they helped him.
It is so moving. One of the guys said to him, everybody's got their own demons. And Tyson's story definitely helps us understand that we're not the only ones that struggle, even though hearing what we went through might seem worse. And
It does, honestly.
And Tyson
It
said
does.
one of the things that he is bad with is he's not grateful. He says it's something that he's missing, the ability to feel gratitude. And Tyson said, I have to come to places like this to get gratitude, because sometimes I'm in my head too much. If I'm in my head, it's not always a good direction, because it's a really dangerous place to travel alone in that neighborhood.
That's
Is he brilliant?
Yeah, he's brilliant.
He's brilliant.
Brilliant. All right, guys, I gotta go. I stayed way too long. I'm in trouble.
Bye, Sal. Bye.
Bye. See you guys.
Thank you. Oh, I'm glad Sally isn't here. She just left. Somebody just put up a picture of Sally. It doesn't even look like her. I would not know this was Sally. I would not know that was Sally.
Oh my gosh, she would die.
You know, look, it was the 80s. What do you want? It was the 80s. It doesn't even look like she's wearing any makeup either. Mm-hmm. She's beautiful, but she sure doesn't look like any. Oh my God. Okay, guys, that was a really bizarre show, wasn't it? And you know, the thing is with Sally and me, we could talk for 500 hours. She's extremely entertaining. She's extremely funny. And she's extremely intense. And we're lucky to have her around. Margaret wants to know if the two of us are high. Ha! Mm-hmm. Margaret, you should only be around us when we're high. Actually, Sally is very straight-laced. Sally's very straight-laced. You hear that over at Channel 4? Sally is straight-laced. Sally doesn't get high. Sally doesn't say fuck. Ever. Whew. I'm glad we got that all down. Okay. So, guys, that was it. Tomorrow, Mr. Sokolowski, I guess. Friday, Mr. Potter. And then we'll just be back in the saddle like we normally are. Okay? It's warming up. Enjoy it. Bye.
Lynn Cullen Live, Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and archived at pghcitypaper.com. The opinions expressed on Lynn Cullen Live are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the viewpoints of Pittsburgh City Paper, Steel City Media, and its advertisers.